a couple names that I don't know. So if you're new, raise your hand. If you're newer into this business within the last, like, I just don't want to talk about stuff that you all might have heard. I know there's a lot on here. I don't know who I is. So nobody's new within the last 6 months?
Liz is Carolina Navigators. She's
Oh, okay.
She's working for the CIA, so she has to be very covert.
MIA. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a hustler.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot lately in Lighthouse Leaders about that checklist, and it might be like you might think we're beating a dead horse here with the checklist, but there is a reason that checklist exists. Wait, when I zoom my computer, like started when I log into it. Oh, yeah. I thought you were gonna say something, Aaron, but no. So there's a reason that checklist exists. I have fallen short here and there with the checklist, and I'm like, oh, well, if I put it away, I have it memorized, and I'll do all of these things. And if it's not in front of my face, it doesn't get done. So I've had to pull the thing out again to stay on task. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I think that's what Aaron wanted to focus on is the checklist. I know you've all probably seen the videos every day going over that checklist, but it is so important. If you want to grow your business, it is so important to follow that thing literally every single day, every day. And you can get creative with your posts too. So I'm jumping forward. So every day whenever I wake up, I have a schedule. If I don't write things out, it does not get done. It doesn't get done. So first thing in the morning, right whenever I open my eyes, I do my self-development. I get that done, the 15 minutes of self-development. If you're not developing yourself, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get that backbone that you need to develop to take the nose and try to find those. What's that? Can you mute people, Aaron?
Hi.
Somebody mute yourself. I don't know who that is. I can only see two people. Good. If you're not doing that self-development piece, and that doesn't always necessarily mean growing into a better person. Self-development in this field of work is, yes, like growing into the person. I'm a Christian, so growing into the person that God created me to be. That's my task every day. I typically read 2 books a week, and I've consistently done that since I started this business. I've read so many books, but I try not only to become the best person that I can be and who God created me to be, but I'm also in the process over the last 2.5 years of mastering networking, marketing, and network marketing. For those of you that don't know, I'm a registered nurse, and you can't just walk up into a hospital one day and say, oh, hey, and take care of somebody to learn how to become a nurse. You have to master that. You have to take this horrible, long, gut-wrenching, horrendous NCLEX, and pass that along with the grueling 2 to 3 year nursing program, depending on what you're in, and master the skill of nursing, and then go through another, depending on what hospital or where you get put into, another 3 to 6 months, sometimes 9 months, sometimes a year of training with somebody before they'll let you loose and put you in charge of someone's life. This is a little bit different. You're not really, it's not life or death here, but you have to learn how to master the skills of this type of an industry, as well as growing yourself. So I'll typically do my Bible reading in the morning, and then I flip-flop between Grow Your Network Marketing Business, Go Pro, these are some books that I've read. Sun Stand Still, Go for No, The Compound Effect, all sorts of, Cammie Dempsey and Denise Walsh wrote a book. It's called Retire Your Husband. It's like a teeny little read. Retire Your Husband I think it's an amount of time. There's another little book that matches that's called Rock Your Network Marketing Business. It is so good. It's a quick read. You can read it in a day. There's so many books out there. So you want to become like this well-rounded person, which is why that checklist is so awesome to have. You should be doing that every single day. And if you can't sit down and read a book, while you're in the car, on your way, if you have another job, taking your kids to school, while you're in the shower, that's a lot of the times I will listen to podcasts. I listen to Craig Groeschel's leadership podcasts. It's amazing. If you have an iPhone and you've got that podcast icon, hold on. If you have that podcast app on your phone, look up Craig Groeschel's leadership podcast. They're freaking amazing. Oh, they're so amazing. So there's a lot of different things that you can do in self-development. And then before I leave the bed, most of the time, during the school year, yes. In the summertime, it's kind of a crap show, depending on my day and what's going on, because I don't set an alarm and who's crawling into my bed or who's sick or what we've got going on. But first thing in the morning, I always do an inspirational post. So that's on that checklist too. Sometimes I make it funny. When people wake up in the morning, we all know like there's crust in your eyes and the sun's burning a hole through your retina and you grab your phone to scroll and see what's going on with everybody's lives in the morning. So, and people want to be inspired to set the tone for their day, or they want to laugh. So, here, get up on my lap. She won't stop. Or they want to laugh. So I'll do something inspirational with one person in mind, or if I'm struggling with something, I will turn that struggle into like a projection and talking to one specific person. Sometimes I go on Pinterest and I find little things, or there's things that scroll through Facebook and I have a folder in my phone with inspirational posts, et cetera, et cetera. So I will talk to one person, or if I know a friend is struggling with something, I may post to them without mentioning their name. And it will inspire someone, or it will hit them in the feels. And I get a lot of messages and some comments. I get more messages than comments, I think, underneath my posts, because people want to keep their business personal. But I get a lot of messages that say, you have no idea how much I needed to see that this morning. If I go a couple of days without posting at this point, 2.5 years in, I will literally have people say to me, like, are you okay? What's wrong? You haven't posted your inspirational post in the morning. That's the first thing I do, is go to your page in the morning to see what you've written. So if you get consistent with doing that, people will start following you, even though they might be silent. Eventually they'll come out of the woodwork. Oh, my husband and Morgan are home. Or something funny. People want to laugh in the morning. So Daddy's home. As long as it is appropriate funny, because this is, your page kind of turns into, hold on, let me go in the bedroom really quick. Hold on. Hey, hi, hold on. Hold on, I'll be back, you guys. Yeah, chaos, dog bark, jumping, Morgan screaming. Well, it's dark in my bedroom. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, as long as it's inappropriate funny, because your page, essentially when you join a business like this, you're going to start adding people on Facebook, making friends, and you could really turn like your next rock star off with just one post, something that that might not be so funny to them. So if it's appropriate and clean and good, fun, definitely do that. Like today, I've posted a couple of funny things. If you guys are friends with me or you follow me, I took a picture of my daughter and this wasn't in the morning, but I like to make people laugh. So I took a picture of my daughter on a horse. I didn't even look at it and sent it to my husband. And he's like, oh my gosh, how'd you get the horse to do that? And I'm like, do what? And then I look back at the picture and the horse has this like, face. What in the world? People are cracking up at it. So just like simple things. then adding people on Facebook too. So I talked to somebody a little bit about this. If you don't know how to add people on Facebook, it's very strategic. So I've flip-flopped a little bit of how I do this. Once upon a time, I used to and I still do sometimes, because I genuinely want to meet other people that share the same interests as me. But once upon a time, all I was doing was going into, I have a Bernese Mountain Dog, so like Bernese Mountain Dog groups, friending people. What else? Like photography. I'm a photographer too, so going into photography groups, adding people or whatever else, and I wasn't necessarily adding my target market. So what I've started doing now is people that are into what we have to offer, going to those types of sites, and not necessarily like all fitness pages. In the search engine up top, you can type in like health and wellness, and a million things are going to come up. You can type in like Australia health and wellness, and all of these pages are going to come up. I'm just throwing that one out there. You would go on that page, start going through the posts, look at the people who've liked and commented, see if you have anything in common with them. I go through a few of their pictures to make sure they're like a decent, normal-looking human being and they're not ISIS. I go through a few of their posts, and I make sure that they're not a vulgar person, that they're genuinely somebody that I want to be friends with. I look at how many friends that they have. If it says nothing to show, I don't add them. Like, period, end. If I have a mutual friend with them that is in any sort of network marketing business, I don't add them at all. Not at all. If they have like 500 or more friends, or sometimes 450 or whatever else, I know they're kind of maybe a little bit well networked, like to make friends, social, or whatever else, and then I will go ahead and add them. So it does take time. I add like 10 to 15 people-ish a day. This year, Facebook just sent me my little alert that I have made 500 new Facebook friends this year already. So when I joined, it works 2.5 years ago, I had 380 Facebook friends, and now I've got, it was a little over 3,000, and now I think it's under, just a little bit under. It fluctuates because people will delete you and whatever else, but a little over 3,000. So just in 2.5 years. So I'm networking. I've made friends all over the world at this point, genuine friendships. So another thing that I've been looking into as well, microblading is like huge right now. Lash extensions, if those are just thinking outside the box, if people are getting microblading done, if they're getting cool sculpting done, if they're getting their eyelashes done, they are into, they want to look good. That's what they're into. You know, you could be like, I use this analogy with my team. You could be the best like steak and rib chef in the country, but if you're targeting a vegan restaurant, you're going to fall flat on your face. You know, so in building friendships and relationships with the things that you're interested in, you also need to be thinking creatively, like who's my target market and where am I going to find them? So I've, again, started thinking outside the box. Ads come up for that cool sculpting and microblading and eyelashes and all sorts of different things that people are buying or buying into or signing up for to make themselves look good and feel good. So that's our target market. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a gym or a fitness group, which that's good, you know, to target those people.
Does anybody have any questions as far as the checklist and, you know, working your business basically, but you guys struggling at all? Because I know, I just want to make sure that everybody knows exactly where, because there's so much content in, like Wendy just posted a great message that you could send to your, you know, loyal customers or, you know, your potential loyal customers And she put a ton of really good content. And then her video today, she put the duck, duck, goose rap game in there. So we just want to make sure that you guys are understanding the checklist. And, you know, because I know that a few people have said, well, I wish I could get my loyals or whatever. But the point of this checklist is just to really keep it moving. To go out and find those 10 friends a day. Think of all kind, you know, like Liz. Liz is a Zumba instructor. Liz is a teacher. You know, Wendy, she used to be a restaurant manager. She used to work in the dental industry. There's so many things that, you know, so many areas that she can, you know, I have a black cat. I have a dog. You know, there's so many things. Like I used to do hair. We have a girl, Courtney, who is amazing at doing window painting. So it's things that you have interests in and that you're surrounded by. Those are the kind of people that you're going to, you know, friend and stuff like that. And like Meredith said, this is networking. This is network marketing. So we want to make sure that, you know, with all this content too, you're adding you know, this stuff, like if you're doing those posts that Wendy had just posted or made an album or whatever about, you know, creating engagement on your social media, you guys, even if you never did anything with It Works or whatever, you're going to make people like you a lot better just from these posts, because you're going to essentially give yourself a personality. And, you know, this is what people want. You know, typically I saw an amazing thing the other day that was like, you know, Facebook's bad. It's all drama. And it's like, no, it's exactly what you have created. So even if you do nothing, I'm telling you, your friends are going to like you a lot better because you're posting content rather than just sharing garbage. Don't ever share anything. When I go to so many people's pages, the first thing, when people come to me and they're like, I'm discouraged, I don't have anybody, I'm not getting paid enough. And I go, okay, the first thing I do is I go to your social media. That's the very first thing. And if I don't see anything on there, even nice, I'm like, I wouldn't order anything from you either. You're a very, very negative person. So it's all the stuff. I mean, you could know everything about every single product, about every single ailment, about every herb that will cure, you know, an extra finger coming out of your hand. You can know everything about everything, but if you're not a nice person, you're not going to go anywhere, like at all. So all of this, you guys, is definitely going through the steps. And if you, like, literally that book, I mean, when we get books, I mean, notice Meredith is real big on the Bible, and she's real big on telling us to read the Bible, and I will get around to it one day, I promise. But this book that I just listened to, because I'm a listener, I am a multitasker, but this 10X book literally changed my life. The fluff is gone. I have a clear vision of what my why is, what my goal is. And I swear to you, you could cut my arm off and I would still just put some stuff on it and I would push forward. I would keep it moving. I was no excuses before. And now this book, I literally am no excuse. I mean, I just had my tooth fall out, for Christ's sakes, and I'm sitting here. I went to the store, I got some cement, I put my tooth back in, and we're good to go. So the point of these checklists, you guys, and the point of this contest, there's an amazing contest going on right now. And I think probably Wendy's going to win it. But it is no joke. If you're just sending, you know, in this book that I just read, listened to, whatever you want to say, it's not the quality. You got to get to the quantity to get the quality. You really do. I mean, you just do. I had to wait 3 years to, oh, no, in fact, you know what, Liz, I think I asked you, I think I told you about the relief when I first started with It Works. And she was like, go pound sand, lady, not going to happen. And we still love each other very much. We're still on our social media, whatever. You guys, 3 years later, I have the most, she's like, all right, you proved it to me. You're fine. Like, you know, you did it. And I had to grow from that. You know, I had to grow. I had to prove myself to many, many people. And that's what you have to do. But I was never afraid of reaching out to her, because that was like, you know what, I need to know my stuff a lot more, you know, or whatever. So these checklists, these power hours, these things, they're going to get you I just reached out to somebody today who I have no idea who they are, but they were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I'm like, look, here's these things that I know that will help you. You're taking the, alternative route. I love how they call it alternative. But you're taking the alternative route for treatment. I would really, here's this that I can offer you. Here's the facts on this. And I would love to send you these things. And I'm not telling them I'm selling them anything. I literally am going to send them samples, whatever. They've read my message, and there you go. Now, do I think that they've read my message and they're ignoring me? I mean, maybe, but they just were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So they're probably really busy right now. So it's just the thing you have to, it didn't affect me. With these messages, I actually just came across a message today that I read 2 weeks ago, and I never responded. I think I'm going to like some kind of Facebook network marketing hell for doing the exact thing that I hate the most. But that is it. The people, they just were busy. We're so busy, you guys. So, you're not going to post 2 posts on social media and expect to have someone sign up with you. You are not going to send 2 messages, 10 messages, even 20 messages and have somebody, I literally had someone say, I'm sorry I didn't message you back. My car was stolen that day. People have things going on in their life. I'm like, okie dokie. Why don't you just go ahead and get back to me whenever you get a new car? But best believe I did offer the business to her. I've had somebody who's like, literally, I need you to come to my house for me to order this. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. So I'll just keep reminding you. You have to keep it moving. You have to keep it moving. You have to find other people. If you're a runner, you can go find Lance Armstrong. Oh no, he's like, whatever. I'm sure he'd probably want something too. He's minus a testicle. He could use something. So, go find people. You guys, in my first month, I messaged this guy who was like huge into health and wellness too, and he's very famous, and he turned me down. But you just have to do it. The people off the corset ads, that's amazing. I got the girl who I just sent a message to, and she turned me down, but I'm sending her samples. I got her off of those Facebook ads where get the swirly thing. What is that thing? The tornado. Meredith, you told me to look at the thing you just put and it mixes things. I don't know. I think it looks stupid, but I friended about 425 people off that post. So it's that stuff. But you guys have got to write down your why. You have got to write down these goals. Whatever your life is right now, I guarantee you, if you stop doing It Works Global, your life is not going to change at all. It's still going to be the same. So give this a shot. Stick to the checklist. Go find Ronald McDonald and go friend him. All they're going to tell you is no. And you tell your kids no 482 times a day, they're still standing. No one dies from the word no. Right? But that personal development, you guys, because I'm telling you, it was like before this book, I was like, yeah, all right. But now I'm like, holy buckets. My teeth can fall out. I'll glue them back in. Let's rock and roll. I got shit to do. Sorry, earmuffs. But that's the, and so every day, we've been putting these videos. So now we're just going to bump these videos up each day. So, I know, like how Meredith said she didn't want to repeat anything, but I know it takes, was it like 7 to 21 times before you actually register something in your brain, right? Like those training videos, I still watch them, especially since we renewed them or whatever, revised them. But even if you start out, I had a teammate today, her daughter is sick, and she was like, this is even more why I want to make them $700 a month just so I can stay home. You guys, that's what we're doing here. We're helping people so that they can at least make $700 a month so they can stay home in case their kids get sick, so they don't have to leave them. You're going to find maybe about 2 of me in your entire It Works career. Someone who wants a net worth of over $100 million. Like that's my goal. It's really a weird goal. I was a waitress 4 years ago. So, not everybody has to be, we all can do this, individually, but still we want to support and make sure that everyone is just as successful. So like Meredith's saying, like, please do the self-development. I went a week without doing it and I was in a funk and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't do my self-development. Like you have to feed into you. You have to meditate. You have to, whatever you're doing, you have to work out whatever you're doing to put into you. Like, please make sure you do that. Dave Sasek says, It Works is a self-development company with a compensation plan. And that is a fact. So, and we want to make sure that we are just encouraging and building each other up and really being there for us, because the minute you make your why your excuse, it's going to take you 10 times harder to come back because you'll be kicking yourself. Not too many people know this, but a year, so Cash he's going into 2nd grade. His kindergarten year was absolutely awful. He was going through testing. He was hooked up to all these sleep tests. If you guys have ever done a sleep deprivation test with a 5-year-old, I don't recommend it. My son was very sick and no one ever knew. In fact, the girl who did the test on him, she signed up to be an It Works distributor because I constantly strive to change lives. Not once did anyone know that my son was sick. I just never because I know that when it's time for him to go to college, I'm going to write a check and I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to write whatever school he wants to go to. I'm going to write a check and I'm going to pay for it. And when I take my foot off the gas, that's a student loan or financial aid we'll have to pay for or file for. You keep your eyes on the prize, because the thing is that if you had an opportunity, I've never had an opportunity in my entire life to become a multimillionaire. Never. This is it. You can make over $100,000 a month with this company. And I know I worked my ass off when someone was telling me they were going to give me $8 an hour. So I know at this point, I think, you can be making, $200 an hour, and that's making money while you're pooping and sleeping. So that's why I really wanted Meredith to go over the checklist to reiterate how important that these are, because it's going to establish yourself. Me doing this and sticking with this, it actually established myself, and it helped me to know what to do and reach for more, frankly, because I'm worth more. I know that you guys are worth more than what you're, where you're at. I'm worth more than feeling discouraged. I'm worth more than feeling defeated. I'm worth more than feeling like no one's ever going to listen to me. So, and again, you follow the steps to success, and it'll happen. And then when you see everybody, when you start doing this stuff and the results really start happening, when people post in the group, well, no one's ever doing anything for me and from me or whatever. And then you go, well, I'm following the checklist and it's working. So what are you not doing? Are you following the checklist? So, and we're better together, but there is a ton of content to help with this. And if you guys come up with something new or whatever, or what different than that, like, hey, I changed the wording around or whatever, post that in the group, please. That's why, when you guys are posting your stuff, I'm like, hey, what messages are you sending to people? Because I feel like I'm a broken record sometimes. So we all need inspiration from each other. And Wendy is a really good source. So her sharing her stuff in here has been awesome. It's incredible. And I just actually, you guys, and again, when you're following people and you see a post, copy it, totally. Copy it, make it your own, and use it. I had some girl who literally, I have been dying to come up with the right wording, and I saw her post it on hers, and I'm pretty sure it's definitely a different company, but I grabbed it and I changed it up, and I went ahead and posted it in our business section in the album. So you guys, please feel free to check that out. But you guys are worth more. And somebody literally today posted, and is life just about going to work, working 9 to 5, paying your bills, and dying? And I'm like, there's a lot more to life than that. And just the whole blitzing thing and stuff like that, when you're out, please just talk to people. I've had an unfortunate evening. I wouldn't say it's terrible. My son just came home from a very long trip, and I've missed him, and it was great, but my tooth fell out. And, so I went to Walgreens and I talked to the ladies behind the counter, and they were so incredibly amazing that I gave them both Blitz cards. And I'm like, you know what? You guys are so awesome. I'm going to give you some samples for free. Just call me and let's set something up. And they were like, okay, that's amazing. And then I ended up talking to Vicky once. Oh, because I gave them the wow. And Cash said, you have wrinkles. And I'm like, mm-hmm. So it just, your children will do that. And, I ended up laughing. And then this one woman ends up telling me how her husband is like a silver fox and she can't wait to get home. And I was like, holy crap, and we're all laughing. And I'm telling you, those two women made my night. I was in such a better mood. So please just talk to people, because people are amazing and people can change your life, even if they're horny and old and have wrinkles, and your 7-year-old points that out to them. So, sorry, I just wanted to interject that really quick. Does anybody have any questions about the checklist? Is it, and if there's anything other than just being afraid? I'm hating the word no. Because that's normally the case. So don't be afraid. If somebody's meanie pants to you, you just block them. It's social media. That's the best thing about social media. Just make them go away. It's magic. Tick.
Can I just add one thing about the checklist?
Yes.
Or just remind people what you'd said before. So the checklist is honestly like, it's like just this thing they're supposed to do for part of your job. Like, did you ever work somewhere, where you had side work at the end of the night, or you worked at the front desk and you had to like take out the trash, shut down this computer, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is literally all it is. So like, this is your job. Just those are the steps you want to hit every day. You can knock it out in like an hour, break it up every 15 minutes here and there. But it's just literally like, think about it that way. It's literally like your side work or closing down or opening up.
That's a really good. You're a genius. You're a genius. So yeah, you guys are kicking it. You're kicking butt. I appreciate all the efforts and everything. And if you are discouraged or anything, just post and we will help you. But I had one girl, she was like, I'm discouraged. I haven't seen anything. And I went to her post or her Facebook and I'm like, you haven't done anything. I'd be pretty discouraged too if I haven't done anything and nothing was happening. That'd be weird. Like, meh. I'm like, do the checklist for a week and then come and talk to me. And that was the last time I talked to her. Because she got a loyal customer. And she's doing well. So the checklist works. All right, you guys have a good night. There is tons of self-development posted in the group in the files tab in that one post that I did. The major thing that I got from this is I can see a huge difference now between my internet being unstable, between average thinkers and massive action thinkers. Don't overthink anything. Type it up, send it, pray, whatever, post it. If you screw up, then you know how to not screw up the next time. But there's the average thinker who's going to overthink everything and not take action because you're going to talk yourself out of it. And then there's massive action where you just do it. Where you just go out and you just do it. And you just make it happen. And that's it. If you guys ever need any kind of inspiration and you like watching television, I would watch America's Got Talent. There was a girl last night who lost her hearing completely when she was 18 years old. Like, how would you like to have that gift taken away from you? The gift of hearing is gone. Now what? So for her, now what is that she taught herself how to play guitar and she was up there singing and playing guitar. And she's deaf. So let's overcome some odds. Let's be really grateful for what we have in this opportunity and what we can do to change people's lives and to change our own, because we deserve it and we are worth it. And for God's sakes, if something ever happens, we have a second streamline of income coming in, and we never have to worry about being able to pay the bills or where the next meal's coming from, because we have this. And we worked really hard for it. And it's ours. And we got healthy at the same time. So And you know what? Have amazing courage. Courage comes from actions. I don't have the courage to jump out of a plane, but I bet you if I did it one time, I would feel pretty decent, and I might even do it again. So courage comes from action. And action equals success. All the time, every time. I had someone say to me today that they didn't get paid because, for something, and that they have bad luck. And I'm like, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as bad luck. There's not. Well, I guess there was a sign-in sheet that I missed. Well, there you go. It's not bad luck. You didn't do the sign-in sheet. They didn't think you were working. It'll get fixed. So, have the positive mindset. Don't be the victim. Don't be the average thinker. Take massive action, and lots of cool things will happen. So, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Meredith, for kicking it off. No mayhem is going on at her house all the time. It's constant, you guys. We have a rule. She's not allowed to call me if all 3 kids are awake at the same time. It pierces my skull. All right. So check out the checklist, check out the videos, and one more day left on this thing. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's the last day on the lip and eye stuff. And yeah, we'll get together a online party, I think, here probably to finish out month end, I think. So we'll work on that and we'll post it, and you guys have a wonderful evening.